Carmen, how long have you been a member at Watertown Golf Club?
43 years.
Club.
10 years.
I believe 7 years.
11 or 12 years now.
I joined here in 1981.
23 years.
I think I've been a member here about 12 years.
I believe I've been a member about 33 years.
30 years.
22 years.
I've been a member at Watertown for 18 years. 25 years.
Actually, I joined I was talking with Tony Pelosi, who was a neighbor of mine, who said, why don't you come over to the club? And he signed me up, and ever since, I've been a member ever since.
Franny Fenn was the manager. There was 35 guys on the waiting list. Franny talked to Tom McDermott, who was the membership chairman at the time, and said, the only thing I'm asking you for is that Perillo gets in this year, and in 1986 I got in.
My first year as a member was $270 initiation and dues.
Memorable moments. I don't know, it was about 25 years ago, back in the 80s. We had a number of members from Southbury, myself, Ronnie Wolk, Jack Muscolino, Sam DiMartino, and Joe Carp, God bless him. And every one of us won our flight. That was pretty memorable.
Well, one that stands out is buying a winning ticket on the on Bernie Dzinski and Lynn Dayton that had odds at 140 to 1, knowing that they didn't buy one on themselves and they were in the finals against Chris Brooks.
There's been quite a few up here at the Watertown Golf Club. Every Wednesday night is a memorable moment up here with the crew that we have. But I would think winning the first junior senior with Mike Calabrese was one. That was probably one of the best ones we've had.
Yes, in the President's Cup last year, to birdie one and par two and make Dave Siegel absolutely crazy on the golf course.
I think my most memorable moment was member 2 years ago when they did the nice ovation for Arlo Minicucci to start out the tournament.
Tom Laurie was one of a kind, a great guy, loved his golf, played thousands and thousands of rounds with him. We all miss him very much. He loved this course, probably right behind his family, and just an excellent golfer and a good person.
Well, I also would be remiss if I didn't mention Dick Pernicki, who was my sponsoring member who got me into the club along with my father. So those two guys were both of them my sponsoring members, and Richard was my partner for on a Saturday and a Sunday match with Ron Puglisi and Neil White, who was a former member up here for 20-something years.
Back in '74, I think Mike joined, I'm not sure if you know that or not, but in '74 Mike joined Watertown Golf Club. And he would play Western Hills in the morning and play Watertown in the afternoon. In 1975, Billy Hardery played with Mike and the member guest, and I ended up playing with Bob Colby. And me and Billy had one hell of a weekend. It was fun. We got to meet a lot of guys up here at Watertown, and they didn't care if you were a doctor, lawyer, banker, attorney, machinist. They didn't care. Everybody was friendly. The one common denominator here was golf, and me and Billy liked that, and also we were treated good by Fran Fenn, who was the manager at the time. All right, so the following year, 1976, me and Billy decided to join, and from Western Hills. We got George Hardery, Billy's brother, Ed Glasheen, Steve Wardley to join. I think that was it. That's my six of us, and joined Mike up here. And from then on, I mean, it was nothing but fun. This was the place to be. We had a lot of beer, a lot of golf, and a lot of friendship, and it was fun, a lot of fun. Those guys, unfortunately, some of them passed away now, but George is still around. I remember George being noted for a turtle roll. Whenever he made a birdie, he just rolled on the green, and that was fun. And Steve Wardley, Englishman, drank beer all day. Short story about Steve. You might have heard it before, Ian, but he went home one day from Watertown Golf Club and decided he was going to cook French fries. Put the fryer on, the deep fryer on, and fell asleep and burnt his kitchen down and part of his living room. So a picture was in the paper the next day of the house, and the insurance company put him up at the Red Bull Inn. 2 weeks later, Steve comes home from the Watertown Golf Club and couldn't find a parking place. So he drives around and finally he saw a place to park. So he goes to back in it, and unfortunately it was the stairs to the pool. Next day, this picture's in the paper, this car is in the pool and they're towing it out. So I thought that was pretty funny. And Billy Harvey was probably the funniest guy you'll ever want to meet. He'd give you a shirt off his back. He was a very good friend to have. Billy used to live in Bunker Hill, and he smashed a car up one day coming home from Watertown. This is going to sound like all we did was drink, but that's probably all we did. But he smashed a car up coming home from Watertown one night, and he decided he was going to buy a house across the street. So he bought the house on the corner across from the parking lot, the north parking lot. So he's living there, and one day he's walking home late at night, and he walks into a telephone pole and got a pretty good lump on his head. Who was Steve Borley, I told you about. Ed Glasheen, funny guy, went to BC, graduate of Boston College, and learned how to live a life without working. So he was pretty good at that. Mike Carney has been the same all his life. Very mischievous, name calling, had a nickname for everybody, and just a good golfer. Drank a lot of beer. Not too many stories that I can tell or I want to tell, but it was the six of us were close, had a lot of fun, a lot of friendship. It's too bad that half of us had to pass away, but that's the way life is.
Favorite hole out here?
I guess I'm gonna have to say 8 now. 8. You know, now that they changed it to a par 4. You know, and now that I even noticed, I didn't even know. Again, Tom Sergi Sr.'s ashes are there, and now that I noticed Tom Carosa's little bench out there, who was a very good friend also.
No, number 9.
Number 9.
Yes, because that's gonna be my hole at one hole one day.
Let's see. Favorite hole, probably 2, because I love it when you can let a drive go and get down to the bottom of the fairway, and that just makes the hole that much easier.
17 means a lot to me. I've had some good matches end there. I've had some bad matches end there.
Favorite hole? All depends on what day. I would have to say my favorite hole. That's a shame that I can't think of that right away. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It goes to show you a little bit about my game.
Least favorite?
The least favorite is the road hole, number 3. Always seem to go left there. Just never feel comfortable setting up on the tee box. So yeah, definitely it's got to be hole number 3.
I have 3, 6, 7, and 8. I'd like to go from 5 to 9, and I'd be happy.
13. Tough hole. Don't hit a long wall again, so not often I'm going to par that hole.
Number 2.
And why is that?
Something about that water that's there seems to suck up all my balls.
What do you say about Mike Carney? I've known him since grammar school. Great guy, and always have a good time with Mike Carney, even though he'll still give you that smart answer once in a while. But Mike's been great. I've known him a long time.
He's a riot. Just a very caring part of the club. He's a great face of the club.
True professional. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I think in terms of his profession, he's right at the top. I mean, not only can he play golf, he's such a good people person. You bring a guest up here, I mean, maybe you haven't brought the guy in 5 years, Mike remembers his name, and people remember Mike because of stuff like that.
That's for you, Mike. I would say Mike Carney is an icon here. I met him 30 years ago. I was brought up here as a guest to play around the golf. He used to bowl in a league with a friend of mine. I don't know him as well as a lot of the other guys because, like I said, I've only been here 11 years. But I think Mike is truly like furniture when you buy a piece of building. He comes with it and he's always here. Always willing to help out. Great to all the people in the club. Great to any guest that I've ever seen walk through the door.
Yeah, one story about Mike. We were putting on the putting green one night, and George used to carry his beer bottle in his back pocket, and Mike walked up behind it and hit it with his putter and smashed the bottle while it was in his pocket, and that kind of cracked us all up. That was pretty funny.
Mike Carney?
It is good.
The best, right?
It is good. Pro Shop Mike, great guy. Always very encouraging. When you're playing well, when you're not playing well, he's going to let you know that you're not playing well. And it's a little incentive to get up here and practice, because if you don't, he's going to be all over you.
And trips down to the Golf and Gamble. And we were coming home on the bus, and Mike was, you know, he had a couple. He actually got, I think, on the bus and had the chips in his pocket. We had to go back into the casino. So we're driving along, and he looks at me, he goes, "How tall are you?" And I said, 5'7". He goes, "How much do you weigh?" Now I knew he was just setting me up for something. So I said, about 2 1/4. He goes, "You're a fat midget." I couldn't stop laughing. So that's pretty much Mike in a nutshell. What else more can I say?
I'd say Mike Carney is one of the best people I've ever known in my life. He's been a personal friend for many, many years before I was a member. Known him since when he was at Kennedy High School and I was at Wilby High School, though he's a year or two younger than me. I just think as a club pro, he is the epitome of what I think a club pro should be. He's a great person, a great golfer. He's fun to play golf with. And every Saturday and Sunday morning, walking in at 6 o'clock or 6:15 in the morning, hearing him call different people different names, all with great reverence. He loves this golf club, and I think there's not a member that doesn't love Mike Carney. I think the world of him. I love him. He's a great person.